Hello and welcome back. After the surprises of last video, we're going to jump straight back in and start painting this lovely speeder truck, and to do so we are going to be using militarum green contrast paint from Games Workshop. And as always, I'll be leaving a link below to all the gear I use in this video. So after shaking up the bottle and pouring it into my airbrush, it's finally time to start painting. So previously I gave this model a zenithal highlight, which simply means that I primed it black and then sprayed white on top. This gives us a nice shadow and a highlight that gives a nice contrast, especially when we put our contrast paint on. So when airbrushing large surfaces, I like to take it in small sections. I then move my airbrush in a circular motion, making sure to get a nice good coverage over the model.
So something interesting has happened here. Look at that. Weird blemishes.
A great advantage to this is that when using contrast paints, we can create a great contrast on the model, as it's a translucent paint, meaning we can easily layer on a base coat and make certain areas darker by adding more layers on. Anyway, let's head over to the live studio.
Okay, so when I opened this Winter Stricken Grime, half of the pigment wasn't mixed together, so what I'm going to do is add some little bits of plastic chunks. I don't know if this is a good idea or not. There's only one way to find out, right? I stirred it with this juicy cocktail stick, and that was quite gross. Does seem to leak, although my hands, and man, the smell isn't great. It's just that horrible acetone alcohol smell. Alright, so I'm just going to slap this all over it and kind of hope for the best. We're going to remove all this afterwards. This is applying a lot thicker than I thought it would. I thought it would be a lot runnier. I don't know if that's just because I've mixed up the pigment, or maybe it'll have a cool effect. Maybe I ruined the model. Nah, let's just commit, balls to the wall. Gosh, I should be wearing a mask for this. I feel like, gosh, the fumes are quite intoxicating. Alright, I think that's pretty much done. I'll be back in 5 to 10 minutes, and then we're going to wipe this off.
Alright, and we're back, and I probably sound way different as I now masked up. Get your PP on. Let's get ready to remove all this wash.
So after spending literally a few minutes fighting this bottle, it finally relinquished.
So, I'm not sure if this is going to be enough. Otherwise, this is going to take... Yeah, it might be. I feel like I might need another glove though.
So it's time to remove the wash, and I chose to use a microfiber cloth as it keeps all of the dried wash into the recesses, and it won't take a lifetime to finish this model.
I think adding this enamel paint was a mistake. It dried far too much. I was hoping it'd be a bit more glossy like it was on the other models, but
don't despair past me, as it actually does look pretty good in the end. And with that, you can slowly start to see all the lovely green paint reappearing. So after removing the bulk of the wash, I then moved on to using a cotton wool bud to get into all those damn nooks and crannies.
as it looks like right now. I'm going to leave it for about an hour to 2 hours to dry fully. We'll see what it looks like then. I might need to do a coat of like gloss varnish, or maybe, hopefully, it'll look a bit better than it does now. I'm not hopeful, but we'll see.
And with that despair, let's move on to the diorama.
Hello, I am back in it this morning. I'm also wearing a mask, if that would be why I sound so weird. So what we're going to do is, I'm aiming sort of drawing out the shape of the ship, and what we're going to do next is make a nice little de-elevation. Basically we're going to make this lower than this bit, so we can have some little rebel troops hanging around here.
Now onto my least favourite part of making dioramas, it's time to cut out the foam. If you try this at home, make sure to wear a mask, and be in a very well ventilated area, as these fumes, oh boy do they stick around.
Alright, so next we're going to be doing some panel lining. Basically I want to make all these look less dusty and a bit more black. I also found this window again, as earlier you saw it fell off the floor and it took me about a day to realise where it was. As always, I'm using AK Interactive's Black Wash, or MIGS ammo. Are they the same company? I don't know, but yes. So I'm just going to put them in each corner and I'm going to wipe off the excess. With a heavily loaded brush, you can literally just pop it in the corner and it just seep into all the recesses.
Now, while panel lining is quite a laborious task, it's actually pretty fun, especially watching all that paint seep into those recesses.
Basically, as long as we can get these panels black, we can repaint a lot of the green with dry brushing and other techniques that I'm hoping we will be able to do, at least pull off. And if there's any spillages, I'm just going to use this cotton wool bud to hopefully make it look like more like drips. At least that way it looks a bit more realistic and a bit more dirty.
One thing I can't wait to do in the future is expand my enamel paint range. It'd be pretty fun to try out different colours other than just these browns, greens and blacks. And if you have a favourite enamel paint brand, make sure to put them down below, I'd love to check them out. Let's move on to painting the rest of the ship. Truck? When is a floating truck a spaceship? Anyway, let's paint all of the metallics with my favourite metallic paint, black metal from scale 75. After the metallics, it's on to base coating the cockpit area. For this, I kinda wanted to stimulate a TIE fighter, so I painted a nice dark grey. Now, I know some people are going to be sad about the lack of transparent glass, but don't worry, the amount of cool little bits I saved from doing this are going to be used in the next project. We're going to make our own little spacecraft, maybe, or something else. It's not decided yet, I still have to think about it. Now onto the cabling. I basically kept it all red and blue wires as they were nice accents to the green.
Right, so now we're going to be doing something I've never done before, and that is some chipping using this little bit of sponge. Now, this is going to be a rather, probably polarizing decision, but I'm going to be chipping in this Upshanti bone cutter, because in my mind, these rebels have taken this speeder truck from the sandy planets and painted over it green. So the chipping is going to be revealing this undercoat of the sandy cutter. Is this how it works in real life? I don't know. It could look terrible, it could look good, but let's find out together. So what I'm going to do, I've shaken this pot and grab this bit of sponge and just quickly dab it a little bit in here. Slightly speckle it. I'm hoping, let me take a bit more paint off. Let's go in like the corners to imitate some of that. I guess the main thing is not overdoing it, and maybe I am. It is quite a fun chipping method. I've never done this before, so it's quite interesting to have a go at. I'm just going to paint like a whole chipped off area on top here, mainly because there's this weird water pools. Well, I don't know why the paint. Maybe it is these fingers, these greasy fingers. Wouldn't be painted over it. I guess one of the main things you really just want to avoid the most is just making it look like, you know, you haven't flicked paint on it, right? Now, do you think, would there be chipping on top? Let me know in the comments if I should add chipping. Because there would be probably chipping here, because I imagine people are climbing on top. Okay, now let's come back to the actual base of the diorama and get some stuff laid out. So the plan of the diorama is to have some people, if I can get a campfire, there's going to be a lot of campfire here, like 3 rebels sitting around some woods, just chilling out, you know, having a good time, and then the big ship's gonna be on top of here with the lookout looking around. So I'm gonna think probably like here, maybe here. Probably leave this whole little circle clear, I reckon. And we'll get some woods, we'll get some like twigs and stuff, making this look proper good. So basically, you can't see this, but you'll see this line. Wow, look at that line. So basically we can have some twigs here, tree here, tree here. All right, let's have a look at my little collection of sea foam and twigs. My gosh, it really does smell like twigs. I did clean and sanitize all these before, a long time ago, in a video far, far away.
So after sorting through all of my roots, I finally found the perfect pair.
I'm just gonna shove a bit of hot glue in there, and hopefully that's gonna be enough. I'm just gonna hot glue this little bit here just for a bit of added support. Now we're slowly starting to build our tree up a little bit. All right, so I think the idea is to maybe put the tree hanging over like this. So I think I'm gonna brute force this into the foam. And hopefully that actually worked perfectly. Now I'm gonna reinforce this with hot glue so this bad boy ain't gonna go anywhere. Oh, I didn't think about it melting through the foam. Where's my mask?
And after finally finding my mask, it led to the end of 3 days of hobbying. So let me know, do you actually enjoy this style of video where it's half written voiceover and half of me speaking at the camera while I'm doing things? Let me know in the comments below, and especially if you enjoy this video, make sure to hit that like button, you filthy animals. And I'll be seeing you in a few days.